Okay. I want to show us the necessity for the word of God, both here and abroad. Do me a favor. Show me the picture of the little kid that was been in the news this whole week with the green sweatshirt that said monkey. Image. Oh, God. Dag. Click the little boy, yeah. Coolest monkey in the jungle. So there's been a lot of controversy regarding this young boy. He can't be no more than 6 years old. That's a little boy. It's a baby almost, okay? I want to show the video of South Africa. I sent it to you. I want to show you the video from South Africa regarding H&M. What does H&M stand for? Anybody know? Huh? Hennis and Morris? Morts. Okay. So that's a store. Yes. The one that's H&M, about the store.
H&M has closed all its stores in South Africa after protesters reportedly damaged several of them. The protests were in response to an ad widely called racist. Videos showed people said to be members of South Africa opposition party economic freedom fighters marching through H&M stores. Images showed damaged merchandise and toppled structures. The ad in question first came under fire last week. It showed a black child wearing a shirt with the words "coolest monkey in the jungle." A white child was depicted wearing a shirt that read "survival expert." Many people voiced their disapproval of the ad, including rappers The Weeknd and G-Eazy. Both said they would no longer do business with the company. Artist Kervin Andre created a widely shared version of the ad with the shirt that read "coolest king in the world." H&M has since apologized for and removed the ad.
So they apologized and removed the ad. But I want y'all to see that the people there in South Africa, they organized and mobilized. That's a different mindset than we have up here in America. Give me the video. I just posted it on GroupMe.
I know you got a shot for me.
Yeah, with the Negro. They're good old America. No, they were West Indian. I'll say that. Nah, you know it was Judah. You know it was Judah. Notice they went shopping, they bought stuff. Pink underwear, pink socks, and yellow hair. Wow. That's I want y'all to see the difference in mentality from our people in South Africa and up here. And then American nigga always crying racism and things because we stupid as hell.
Do you see? That's why that bomb has to come. How you going? That has to be eradicated. That kind of thinking.
You're right.
That has to go. Some of this stuff cannot be rehabilitated.
Give me that Luke 7, I think it's 31, when Christ talks about the men of this generation.
Christ marveled, Bishop.
Yeah,
that will make him marvel.
Yeah, you got a group of stupid. Not only did they shop there, because the white man said, we're going to put stuff on sale. In South Africa, they said, we don't give a damn about your sales.
Y'all see
you
the
insulted us, now we're going to shut you down. The American Negro goes, oh, good, a sale. Let's go in there and act stupid. The hell is this?
That's why you have to kiss that missile. I'm so glad that thing is made. I'm telling you, I'm so happy that thing is made. I don't know what to do.
Right, and when you look in South Africa, they didn't loot the store. They destroyed it.
Yes, they didn't loot it.
In America, brothers gonna loot. They gonna take it. Oh, I got free shirts, free jeans. You know, they ain't take nothing. They just kick everything down and destroy the store.
And these Negroes didn't wait for 80% off.
There you go. They didn't
steal
destroy
nothing.
all stores.
Right.
They said we're gonna target H&M.
Right.
They had a focus.
Yep.
Read that. Luke 7:30. Is it right verse?
Yeah, that's it.
Go ahead.
The book of Luke, chapter 7, verse 31. And the Lord said, whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation? And to what are they like? They are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one to another and saying, we have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned to you, and ye have not wept.
So what I want y'all to see what Christ said about the men of his generation. The men of his generation are the men of this generation. He said they're like children. The men of his generation, which is this generation, are like children in the marketplace. That's a supreme insult from the Son of God. And what we just saw is evidence. Those wasn't little babies running out the store with shopping bags, acting like monkeys in yellow hair and pink underwear. That was grown men.
Some of those men are going to get a woman pregnant and reproduce.
Yeah, and have more stupid
And that's going to be scary.
Give me the next video. My son modeled that.
Was an overreaction, the response that picture got?
It is not an overreaction when it comes to racism. Everybody should act differently based on their own opinions on what racism is. I know what racism is. I've been at the front. I have had racist remarks directed to me firsthand. Even with the name monkey, I've been called a monkey before on a cruise ship, and my reaction was the same as the world is reacting to me right now.
Now, if y'all remember, originally, she told everybody, get over it. Right. But the people held her accountable. So now she revealed she was called a monkey. Okay? Now, remember, the paycheck must have been good. They gave her a fat paycheck. That's what you always got to remember. The money was good, but then when the people started tearing her black behind up with a crooked wig, started cursing her out. Now she had to get it right.
What they give you in the stores, they give you those gift certificates or something?
Yeah.
They don't even be, a gift card. That's probably what they gave her. Our people will sell themselves out for nothing. Huh?
Exactly.
Probably took a gift card, 80% off for some H&M, blah, blah, blah.
But remember, her son is a model, so they could have paid him like 30 grand. I don't know how much they pay him, but big money. How much? 45,000. Okay.
Bishop, allegedly, Puff Daddy offered them a $1 million contract, and she turned it down.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
I told you. Our people, man, they're scary. They're scary. Our people are scary. So $4,000 or $5,000, they accept that, but $1 million to do something, I imagine, much positive.
Puffy got his
right,
own
exactly.
clothing line. Damn.
So,
Our people is a phenomenon.
I tell you. Oh, Lord.
Go ahead.
To put the T-shirt and the word monkey with racism, maybe that is not my way of looking at it. I'm just looking at Liam, black young boy, modeling a T-shirt that has the word monkey on it. And everybody...
Go to Psalms 68 or 64 where it says the thought of every one of them. Let me tell you something. Psalm 64. The white man knows ahead of time when that young boy has the shirt monkey, that's going to be our top seller right there. That's what they thought. When they see a black child with the word monkey, the white man has already figured out the repercussions behind it, what it means. That's what the Bible is saying. Watch this verse.
The book of Psalms, chapter 64 and verse 6. They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep.
See that? The thought of every one of them is deep, meaning they are always 10 steps ahead of us. That's why they got the economy the way it is, because they're always 10 steps ahead of us. They have what is called think tanks. They think ahead of us. That's why the heart, the thoughts of every one of them is deep. You say Jesus is black, they've already figured out that means we're going into slavery. They figured that out like that, but black people, I don't understand, I'm confused. Because we're mentally smitten, psychologically deranged people.
I know I shouldn't sound the way I was thinking about what I said earlier. We were talking about offending people. And when I said that the worst thing that can happen was these brothers that went inside this store hopping around like monkeys, I said the worst thing that can happen is they reproduce. And I know a lot of people probably cringed at that thought because it sounds like something from the eugenics catalogs or something. You know, hopefully that these brothers can repent. But that kind of mentality, we don't want that repeated anymore at all. As a matter of fact, God gonna get rid of them. So the Most High have the best eugenics plan of all.
Yep.
He gonna evaporate 2/3 of our people that ain't no damn good.
Give me Proverbs 28:21. So they paid her $4,000 to $5,000 for this. And remember, she comes from Kenya. That might have been big money for her. Might have been. I don't know her financial situation. $1 million would be better. But maybe she figured out it comes from a Negro, so she ain't accepting it. But watch this. Watch what the Lord says about our people. Read that.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 28, verse 21. To have respect of persons is not good. For a piece of bread that man will transgress.
For a piece of bread, a man will transgress. You know what a piece of bread goes into? A little bit of money, our people will sell out quick. That's what the scripture is saying. That's what King Solomon is warning us about. Read that second half again.
For a piece of bread, that man will transgress.
For a piece of bread, that man, you got to watch those type of spirits that will do anything for a little bit of money. You got a lot of them on CNN, Caucasian News Network. Black men that will stand up for Donald Trump. Donald Trump could urinate in their face and they'll say, no, it's rain. That's what they say. They're crazy. Insane.
You know how stuff could be so crazy that it just baffles your mind? Right now, I'm baffled. I could barely speak, Bishop. I might be silent the rest of the class.
No, you won't.
Because I cannot fathom that kind of thinking. $5,000, yeah, let me take that. $1 million, no.
Because it came from a Negro. I'm telling you, that's the partiality.
A Negro's worth.
White man, $5,000 is more than the black man's $1 million. Give me Ecclesiastes 7:7.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Ecclesiastes 7:7. 7 verse 7.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 7. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad.
Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Go ahead.
And a gift destroyeth the heart.
So there's two things in that verse. Surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. I'm going to deal with that in a minute. But that second half that says a gift destroyeth the heart. See, at first the mother was fighting against black people on social media, saying, get over it. It's just a shirt. Why? Because she got that little 5 Gs or whatever it was. I don't know how much it was. That was a gift that destroys the heart. Now, the people in South Africa, they took it to the next level. They said, no, this should not be. And when you ask yourself, why did they take it to such an extreme, opposed to the dumb American Negro over here, who takes everything as a joke? It's because in South Africa, there's something called apartheid, which ended less than 30 years ago. Less than 30 years ago. America, the Jim Crow laws ended 50 years ago, so how easy we forget. And what America does, they put the famous athletes and sports legends and entertainers in our face, and we go, we're doing much, much better. Look how we're doing. We're doing so good. In South Africa, they said, no, we're not doing good. Apartheid has ended, allegedly, but we're still doing bad. So there's a mindset that's totally different. Give me the video on Apartheid Explained. Apartheid Explained.
Nelson Mandela became South Africa's first democratically elected president in 1994. It was the official end of white minority...
Stop, pause right there. Let me tell you something about Nelson Mandela. Let me choose my words right, because I'll get an email from South Africa. The Nelson Mandela that went into prison was not the same Nelson Mandela that came out of prison. The Nelson, when y'all look at, there's one starring Denzel Washington, if I'm not mistaken, one about Nelson Mandela. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but this dude was straight up revolutionary. Him and his wife. See, a revolutionary woman can, like Asada Shakur said, a revolutionary woman cannot or should never marry a non-revolutionary man, because the two ain't gonna match. Or vice versa. A revolutionary man, don't marry a sister whose mind is not revolutionary. She gonna give you grief. Why you gotta go out there? Why you gotta do that? So Nelson Mandela and his wife, they reigned Cain in South Africa. I mean, they tore SH up. They found you was a sellout, a traitor, they burned you alive. What do they call that? A necklace?
Put a tire on you and set the tires on fire.
Set it on fire. They didn't care about your screams either. They look at you burn up, weave and all. They didn't care. So Nelson Mandela got arrested, and in prison, you know, they break your spirit. That's what they do. They kept him in there. So when he came out, he was this nice, democratic, older man. He wasn't the same dude, and they told him his first office of business, get rid of your wife. So he had to divorce Winnie Mandela. That's what he did. So let's just watch the video. I just wanted to say that.
Otherwise known as apartheid. Apartheid, you've heard of it, but what exactly was it? I'm Francesca Fiorentini, and this is AJ Plus. Apartheid is an Afrikaans word that means separateness. It was a system of racial segregation that governed South Africa for nearly 50 years. It specifically aimed to protect the domination of the white South Africans over non-whites in every aspect of life. But it didn't just appear out of thin air. During the colonial grab for the country between the Dutch-descended Afrikaners and the British, the rights of native black South Africans were sidelined. So when apartheid was officially made law in 1948 by the Afrikaner-led National Party, it was a continuation of injustices already happening. Afrikaners believed that South Africa was their God-given homeland, and that the white race was superior. The black majority was therefore seen as a threat. There were 148 apartheid laws. Blacks had to carry ID permits at all times and had to obey strict curfews. Public facilities were separated for white and non-white use, and marriages between whites and other races were banned. People were classified into 4 racial categories: white, black, Indian, and colored. People of mixed race. And they were all separated into different residential areas. Blacks were divided into 10 so-called homelands based on tribal groups. Homelands were rural, overcrowded, and lacked jobs, forcing blacks to seek work as migrant laborers. Wages were low, and it was illegal for workers to strike. See, apartheid was also economically motivated. A cheap workforce was needed particularly to work in the country's gold mines. Powerful mining magnates had a huge stake in apartheid policies since their profits depended on keeping black wages low. Outside their designated homelands, non-whites had no political rights. Since they were not technically citizens, they couldn't vote. Education? Also divided. The state set up a separate education system for blacks that received a fraction of the funding that white schools did. Mandatory education ended at age 13 and was structured to funnel blacks into menial migrant labor. Exploitation? By design. Needless to say, there was resistance to these insane laws. Protests were often led by black students and youth and were met with severe repression. Out of these struggles came leaders like Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, and Walter Sisulu, who would help bring an eventual end to apartheid. So now that you know what apartheid was, could you imagine living under it? Are there any similarly unjust laws that still exist where you live? Leave us your comments below. Peace and reconciliation.
I told you I was speechless. I can't say nothing else.
No, you see what take place in South Africa. You know, I did a class, I think it was 2 years back, where the same oppression you see that took place in South America, apartheid and all of that, is the same thing that our people here in America and throughout the Caribbean islands and wherever we was taken as slaves went through. You understand? It was the same thing. That's why we know a lot of the brothers and sisters over there, a lot of the people over there is Israel in South America.
South Africa, right.
Yeah, South Africa.
Give me the next video about South Africa. I just posted it. I just thought about it, popped in my head. I just wanted to show it real quick. Like Deacon Malachi said,
I was referred to.
The apartheid that they went through, which ended less than 30 years ago, our Jim Crow laws here allegedly ended in 1965. Allegedly. We're going to find out if it truly ended. But now, watch this. This is about South Africa. It's short. Listen to what she says about her hair. Remember, the scriptures say about Christ, his hair was white wool. Now watch this.
I was referred to as a sheep because of the way my hair is. I've been told that it's a fashion statement, it's a fashion style, and I can't grow it for that long. I'm supposed to straighten it.
must be careful how they deal with children. Because children, all children, regardless of race, are very sensitive and they are very fragile. And as an adult, you can't be saying such hurtful things.
To graduate if they did not straighten their hair. That's some real racist stuff. And what he said, you got to be careful what you say to children because children are fragile. You don't think the white man knows that? The white man knows that their point is to break the child's spirit.
So you read, well, that's what I wrote. No, that was it. That's exactly what's happening. Our enemies do not, the fact that the brother was saying that the Edomites or the people should be careful about how they deal with our children. That is precisely the reason why they deal with our children that way, to actually destroy and break them. That is the purpose. It's not that they have to be told that they're fragile. They know that they're fragile. Mm-hmm. And their job is to literally destroy our children.
That's the point right there. That is the point. So give me the images that I posted. Okay. Why did South Africa take it so seriously? Because it was less than 30 years ago that and they're still going through SH today. Our people are so easy to forget the evils. They'll see their sons and brothers shot in the street and then forget in 2 days when Christmas come around. Or any old white man holiday, they'll forget very easily. You got some images for us? All of them. Okay, now look. What I'm going to show you is how the white man has historically always portrayed us. Even to this day, this was a few years ago, they posted this image of a black man with an ape. Okay, give me the next one. Dr. Seuss, blow it a bit so I can read that. Dr. Seuss repeatedly depicted Africans and African Americans as monkeys. Let me look at this. They had books out on it. It says, take home a high-grade nigger for your woodpile. Okay. This was Dr. Seuss, The Cat in the Hat, How the Grinch Stole. That's why we got to make our own books. To hell with Dr.
Grinch that Stole Christmas. I know a lot of people's minds are shattered right now because they love that thing.
I just love Dr. Seuss. To hell, look at his name. His name is signed at the bottom. See it? He's the one that drew that.
On the picture.
On the picture.
On the picture. His signature is on it.
That's right. Next picture. Next picture. Now, this is a famous soccer player. He goes on the field. They call him monkey, baboon, all kind of. He be on. See, I ain't crying. Throw bananas at everyone, make fun of him, and no one knew he donates 50% of his salary for the children. White folks don't care how much money you donate to the children of Africa. He go on the field, to them, he's their enemy. They call him monkey, baboon, thick lip, wide nose, breathing all the white man's air, all kind of stuff. Yellow-haired monkey, because he got the little yellow hair on the top. Give me the next picture. This dude broke down the white man to kiss him on the head. See, I ain't going to be out there crying. Not only am I going to whip you on the field, but I'm going to jump in the stands. I'm going to give you a reason to terminate me. He crying because they called the white man got a kiss. See, this is humiliating. This is why Christ said the men of this generation are like children. That's why I said earlier, as a leader, you cannot have thin skin, else you'll be like this. You'll be this brother right here crying outside in camp.
This is indicative of a leaderless people, though. Because our people know these things are hurtful. They know that these insults just get right into your soul.
Oh, I remember something that popped in my head. There was a young man at the old school. I was coming down the stairs. He was coming in, and it was Ariella. He was at the front. Ariella was walking in front of me. Ariella died a few years ago. He was walking in front. And I was coming down behind him. He was a general. And a young man was coming in, and I don't know if y'all remember this style, where brothers would twist their hairs and put, what are those things little girls put? Barrettes. Them barrettes in their hair. And for a short time, it was fashionable to suck on a pacifier. Y'all remember that? You remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
Oh, Lord.
Who used to do that?
I thought
that's
in Boys in the Hood, he said. So the brother was coming in the school. General Ariella was in front. He said, stop. He said, young man, where you going? He said, I'm going to school. I'm going to class. He said, no, you're not. You're not going to class. He said, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. You're going to take them little bobos and barrettes out of your effing hair. You're going to take that stupid pacifier out of your mouth, pull up your pants, and you come back in 20 minutes when you're ready. That's how they got down. Now, he dropped a lot of F-bombs.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shit.
And it was loud, too. You heard it from way upstairs.
They didn't play with us. That's why I said, still, y'all would have been marshmallows. But, it hurt my feelings. Just shut up. Give me some more images. Look at this. Look at that's the brother right there. Blow that up big. They would throw bananas on the field while he's out there running, playing soccer. Who, right. Grazie, persona gentile, palaci, whatever that means. He would be crying when they throw bananas at him. Come on, next picture. Look at this one. See, now, this is an old one. I showed you things up to date. Now go back in the past. Little niggas are nearly late for school. Niggas. Number one. Let's wake the niggas up, said the monkeys one morning. They will be late for school else. So they fixed a pipe to the village pump. Now boys, cried one, pump hard. Two, how surprised those little niggas were when the water went in over their bed. They soon got up then. We will pay monkeys out for this, cried Sambo, looking out the window. Do you see this? Woo! Who am doing that? The monkeys. Ooh, the hell is this? Some of y'all do talk like that, but it's all right. We love y'all anyway. Give me the next picture. Look at this. This is a new toy. Little black girl with a monkey, and a black woman going to go and buy it. Monkey has her own bottle too. Look at that.
That's a banana.
Is it a banana?
Yeah. And the monkey got the bottle. The monkey got the bottle.
Got the bottle. She
the
has
little
the
girl
banana.
got the banana. Right, her hat says little monkey. Little monkey. And you mean the white man doesn't know that this stuff is offensive?
100%.
He knows. He doesn't care. Just stop making excuses for them. Next picture. Y'all remember this one with
That's Patrick Ewing.
Patrick Ewing. That's Benjamin.
Right. Benjamin.
Hey.
That's New York.
That does look. No, let me be quiet. I'm sorry, Benjamin. I love y'all. I'm just messing with y'all. Give me the next picture. Now, y'all remember this one?
Look at this.
The first black president of the U.S. starts selling weed. And look how they did him and his wife as monkeys. That's why we also said the movie, the Planet of the Apes, it's about us.
There it is.
It is about us. Every one of them. And the authors tell you it's based on the race riots.
Right.
You.
Exactly.
They tell you that. Next picture.
So when they called Deacon, who was the mayor of New York, they out there jumping on the cars, the police department. They said they called him nigger.
Right.
The nigger got to go.
Some of them are on a police force today. And I remember asking a few of the old timers, what was y'all doing during the march? And they said, we were just protesting. I'm like, just protesting. But I saw the video. Y'all was saying nigga got to go.
They cursed. They held signs
And they said, let's not talk about that. So now, look at this. Now, let's forget for a second the image on my left with the monkey holding a white woman. Let's look at the Vogue magazine with LeBron James with the white woman. Let me tell you how the white man's thoughts are deep. You mean to tell me that when the stylist, whoever designed this cover, didn't know in their mind that the black man would represent a monkey and that there are visuals from the movie King Kong from back in the day, where the big black gorilla holding a white woman and she falls in love with the big black ape.
Mm-hmm.
So then they put the left image out which was an old illustration to show the correlation. So these people already got in their mind, this is based on that, this and the other. That the thought of every one of them is deep.
Now, as they was, cause when they have them posing for this, they're telling him how to look.
Yes.
And it's based on this picture that you see on the right.
Exactly.
They don't even know, well, at least he doesn't.
He doesn't know.
He doesn't know. They're saying, no, hold it like this, do like this, hand it like this.
Exactly. Because he was one of the brothers that spoke out. What's his name? LeBron James? That spoke out against the monkey shirt. And had he known about this when the stylist was saying, hey, LeBron, bounce the basketball, open your mouth like you're angry. The white woman smile while he's holding you. They already knew.
Do you see this? Look at the correlation. The bat in the same hand as the basketball. The woman is in the same arm as the gorilla on the side. Same thing.
Exactly. Same thing. Next picture. Look at this. Wow. Obama. Who wants to say something? I'm sorry. Yes. Obama's baby picture. Wow.
He was president of the United States, and this is how they deal with him.
Exactly.
That's why, like I said about Dinkins, they didn't give a damn on him being mayor or not. Go ahead, my brother.
And look at this one. This was an older picture. Showing you, now I showed you images from back during Jim Crow all the way up till today. Nothing has changed.
Look at this thing.
Nothing.
Right there.
That's the black man and black woman.
So they don't love the black woman either.
Oh, she think they love her, but they don't. Okay. So now give me Job 30 verse 5. We're going to read verse 5 down to 10. Job 30. This is Job, the prophet, our forefather, complaining to the Lord about the so-called white man. By the way, Job was not an Edomite. He was not white. By the way, I just wanted to say that again. Go ahead.
The book of Job, chapter 30 and verse 5. They were driven forth from among men.
The white man was driven forth from among men. Go ahead.
They cried after them as a thief.
The Israelites cried after them as after a thief. When? During the dark ages, when the Moors were ruling. Go ahead.
To dwell in the cliffs of the valley.
We forced the white man to dwell in the cliffs of the valley. Read.
In the caves of the earth and in the rocks.
That's where the word Caucasian comes from. The Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia, because that's what we forced. We chased them like they stole something. That's what it means in verse 5. They cried after them as after a thief. Go ahead.
Among the bushes they brayed. Under the nettles they were gathered together. They were children of fools. Yea, children of base men.
The Bible says the white man is children of base men and children of fools. Go ahead.
They were viler than the earth.
They are viler than the earth. But watch this.
And now am I their song. I am their byword.
No, read it again properly. You're skipping words.
And now am I their song. Yea, I am their byword.
So when the Renaissance came about and they began to conquer us and overthrow us, now we're their song. Now we are their byword. Now they're calling us monkey. Now they're calling us niggas, spick, sambos, and coons. That's what happened. Read.
They abhor me. They flee far from me.
That's why nobody want to live next to us. Go ahead.
And spare not to spit in my face.
And that's literal. During the time of Jim Crow, all that was literal. Okay, they were spitting in our faces. Okay. From there, give me Psalms 34, 12 through 19. Psalms 34.
The book of Psalms, chapter 34 and verse 12. What man is he that desireth life and loveth many days, that he may see good?
A lot of us want that. Go ahead.
Keep thy tongue from evil.
The Bible teaches us that we must keep our tongue from evil. Go ahead.
And thy lips from speaking guile.
And we got to keep our lips from speaking deceit. That's what it means. Go ahead.
Depart from evil.
Depart from evil.
And do good.
Do good.
Seek peace.
Seek peace.
And pursue it. The eyes of the Lord are upon the righteous, and his ears are open unto their cry. The face of the Lord is against them that do evil, to cut off the remembrance of them from the earth.
The white man's remembrance shall be cut off from the face of the earth. That's a prophecy, and it's going to happen. Go ahead.
The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth.
So that's why prayer is very important. We don't have the military strength to go against our enemies, but we can cry unto the Lord. The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth it. But in order for the Lord to hear us, we must be fulfilling and obeying verse 13, 14, and 15. Read that again, verse 17.
The righteous cry, and the Lord heareth, and delivereth them out of all their troubles.
That's what we all want. We want the Lord to deliver us out of all our troubles. Read.
The Lord is nigh unto them that are of a broken heart, and saveth such as be of a contrite spirit.
So he requires us to be of a broken heart, a contrite spirit, meaning serious, okay? Meaning sincere, truthful within. Go ahead.
Many are the afflictions of the righteous.
Many have been our afflictions. Read.
But the Lord delivereth him out of them all.
But it says the Lord delivers out of them all. Give me the article on segregation, please. Give me the article on segregation. You can delete everything else. I posted an article on segregation. Yes, the article. Yeah, that's it. Understanding segregation today. Many times that many of us in here probably believe if a survey was given, most of us, I believe, would have thought segregation days is done and over. But it's not. This is a psychological definition. Let's go down. Blow it up big, so Ezekiel, I want you to read. I'm tired. Read for me. This was written last year. We're going to jump. I'm not reading the whole article. We're going to jump.
Understanding
segregation, I'm going to make it plain for you. Segregation and separation are not the same. Segregation is divided and unequal. Separation is divided and equal. Y'all understand that? Like during the time of, what's the place where we had money was flowing, we was doing good, Black Wall Street. That was separation because we were divided and equal. We had our own everything. But they bombed us. They bombed us, made sure. They said, no, you're not going to be separate. You're going to be segregated, divided from us and unequal.
The bomb right there showed you that there's a clear difference between separation and segregation. Had Black Wall Street been a segregated community, it would still be there today. Yep. But because it was about separation where we had our own resources, they said, no, we can't have that because we brought you here to exploit you and use you as our fuel.
Exactly. Read that.
Understanding segregation today. Segregation refers to the legal and practical separation of people on the basis of group status, like race, ethnicity, class, gender, sex, sexuality, or nationality, among other things. Some forms of segregation are so mundane that we take them for granted and hardly even notice them. For example,
jump down. I don't want to go down. Go up. Go up. Right here. Read this one. Extended definition.
Extended definition. Today, many think of racial segregation as something that is in the past because it was legally outlawed in the U.S. by the Civil Rights Act of 1964. But though de jure segregation that enforced by law was banned, de facto segregation, the real practice of it, continues today.
That's what I wanted y'all to see. It continues today. Now jump down go all the way down to the bottom. Now in there they talk about blacks and Latinos. Let me see that. We go back up. Right there. Let me see this. Read this.
Another implication of residential segregation on the basis of race is that our society is very socially segregated, which makes it difficult for us to tackle the problems of racism that persist. In 2014, the Public Religion Research Institute released a study that examined data from the 2013 America Value Survey. Their analysis revealed that the social networks of white Americans are nearly 91% white.
So let's talk about social networks. Go ahead.
And are exclusively white for a full 75% of the white population. Black and Latino citizens have more diverse social networks than do whites.
Because we want to love everybody. Go ahead.
But they, too, are still mostly socializing with people of the same race.
Let's go down. Let me see if there's a video. Okay, I don't want that. From there, give me the video on special report. IUIC Atlanta is burning, I think. You're going to have to go to YouTube and type that in. With Mayor Rufus.
It's on on IUIC events. You can put that one up. You still should have it because I played it this morning for the earlier class.
Now, when we first heard about it, I was in Atlanta when we first heard about it. We were under the misconception that the mayor in Camilla, Georgia, had the same power as the mayor in New York City. So we was really getting on Mayor Rufus Davis, I think his name is, not realizing that the way Esau did it in Camilla, Georgia, the mayoral powers was given to the city manager. He has the power of a mayor. The mayor is only mayor in name. He has power to recommend and suggest. He says, but according to the democratic society, you could say no, you don't want to do that. So he said he virtually has no power. So now here it goes right here. He was denied the keys to the city. Now, I think this is the one we want. Yeah. Go start to the beginning.
My authority has been reduced to basically presiding over meetings. Now, in my city charter, the power to run the city is delegated to a city manager. Okay, so the authority that it gives the mayor is to make recommendations in the best interest of the people. Democratically, you can decide that we don't want to follow the mayor's recommendations.
This is today. This is now. This is going on now.
Well, let me just share that there's multiple storylines going on about what's happening in Camilla. One is a story about me being denied keys to City Hall, which is a true story. And it has to do with mistreatment of me as a mayor. Another story has to do with the mistreatment of black mayors generally around the state who go through a lot of situations where some have been arrested, they've been ousted from office, they've been undermined in many different ways. And that's a story they've gone through even more than I've gone through in terms of mistreatment. But the story that Councilman Ventura Paulin and I developed was a story that has to do with our representation of the people in our city. He was elected in November. After the elections, our city manager, in a meeting where he was attending, made a proposal that he be given the power, that the power be taken away from, that we amend our city charter and give him the power to appoint all council committees, commissions, boards, authorities, and the city attorney. So we're looking at, like, under your watch, we have all these areas of segregation, from gerrymandering to a cemetery. Why would we give one gatekeeper the authority to do this, which is, even if these things didn't exist, this is an unusual amount of power for one person to wield. But why would we allow you to do this? So we began a non-violent protest where we would boycott city council meetings to shine light on this. So we were timely addressing something that we felt was outrageous. And in the process of addressing this, many storylines have developed, because it kind of goes back with the coincidences. Now we have 5 flat tires. One, the spare in the trunk is flat too. You know, when you say, well, wow, you wouldn't even give him the keys to City Hall. And so, but everything, there's an explanation for it. So that's how it came up.
We've come to understand that Camilla, back in 1868, was known for a massacre that happened. About 20 or so so-called African Americans, they were put to death from marching from Albany to Camilla to protest them being expelled from legislature.
There was a conversation on Facebook recently, and there were a lot of, it was a group of local people. They happened to be all white. They happened to be, they had a lot of negative things to say about the mayor. It started out with the mayor is running the city to the ground. He's a liar. He's saying things. And some of the things I've said is that we don't have black police officers. We don't have one. So that's corroborated easily.
So we're saying like evidence?
Not even one. Not one. Which is an irrefutable fact. And what I try to stop doing is debating them. If I make 100 points and they say, I want to take point number 18 and debate you all day on this one, I take it and I say, well, look, let's just say it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence that the city is 70% black, but there are no black police officers. Let's say that's coincidence number one. It's 70% black, but in the cemetery there is a fence. And on one side of the fence, all black bodies are buried with no records. And on the other side of the fence, all white bodies are buried with no record.
So if you could just kind of give us some what we're looking at, what we see in.
Absolutely. What you're looking at is you're looking at the Oakview Cemetery in Camilla, Georgia. All blacks or African Americans are buried on this side of the cemetery. There are no records maintained. If you have loved ones who are buried here, you would have no way of knowing where their body is buried unless someone could actually tell you where they are.
Okay.
Here's a fence right here that serves as the demarcation line.
What was that? Where black people are buried, there's no records of you. There's no, what is that called, the stone? There's no stone with your name on it, no date of when you were born, none of that. Just an empty slate.
Did y'all miss that?
They missed it. But on the white side, they got the mortuary, they got the stones with the names, when they were born, when they died. The black side, there's no records. That's 2018.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It gets deeper.
I'm going to end it there. They can look at the rest at home.
You got a little.
What you
got a little bit more play. Just a little bit more.
All right. Let a little bit more play.
A little bit more.
One buried on this side of the fence is white. It's Caucasian. And there's a story. I talked with a young man by the name of Paul Jackson, and his grandfather, Harrison Jackson, according to him and according to the memory of people here old enough to know, was in fact buried on this side of the cemetery. He was biracial, and the sheriff came to their home and told them that they had 24 hours to move his body or they would blow up the grave. And his body was exhumed, according to what I was told, and he was buried on this side.
Stop. Stop. That was the part of that's what you wanted.
That's what I want. That's what you wanted.
Yeah, that's what I want. Listen to me. A black man was quote unquote accidentally buried.
He's biracial.
Right. That's what they said, but it's still black. What they used to say about us: 10% of drop, 10% you're a nigga. That's what they say about us. So he's on the quote unquote white side. The sheriff, not just any Negro, the sheriff comes to the family.
Sheriff's a white man.
Yeah, but the point, right. Okay, but here's the point. The mayor is supposed to be control of the police. Supposed to be. He shows up at the family's house and says, listen, we got your body over there on the wrong side. You have 24 hours to get the body up out of the grave. And that's to exhume it means to dig them up and relive the whole pain of the funeral. Like we were talking about before, Bishop. They don't give a damn about your feelings. Just like they didn't care about the children. They don't care about you grown up. They don't care about us as grown ups.
Tell them what year this is.
This is 2018. This happened just a few months ago. Okay. And they still doing this. That's why the mayor's out there. This was not long ago when we went down and filmed this. Now here's the part that I wanted to bring up. The fact that he was buried in there. And they have the records to know who's buried where, even though there's no stones on it. Because the city has this. They know that if you're buried on the wrong side or the right side, because they have all that information with them. The family can't even find their own people. But the city knows who's buried where. Ain't that something?
So where black people are buried, you got to put it to memory.
Right, you got to put it to memory. But they know they said, but the Negro was not plotted over here. He died, but he did not go in none of the Negro areas. That's how they knew that his body was in the wrong part.
Now, I'm going to hit y'all with something. That goes along with New York City, too. I'm going to give an example of what happened to me. New York City Police Department. They have something called the Shamrim Society, where if you are a Jew or an Israelite, you become part of this group if you want. So I filled out the form. I said, okay, I'll be part of that. They send me a letter that asks, are you a Jew? I respond back, yes. They said, well, they call me down to the office. Now they're looking at you, see a nigga come through the door. They say, well, Mr. Israel,
Did you imagine
Yeah, they're trying to fix their face. They had the paper looking at it. They said, well, you know, sometimes police officers go through things. You die at times. Da, 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 da. I said, I'm aware of all the dangers there be. They said, well, when you die, we just want you to be aware we're not allowing you to be buried in the Shamrim grave area. Because to us, technically, you're not a Jew. Your mother, I said, my mother is a Jew. So I knew he wanted to say your mother or father's a nigger, but they can't say that. So he's looking at me. He says, well, we really don't want you to, and he's trying to fix his mouth. He's stuttering and everything. He says, well, yeah, and I'm just sitting there. I'm in a chair. I'm rocking back and forth. Oh, I'm letting the call come out. Mm-hmm. So he goes, well, you know, we have a very, what's the word? Like we're a gated, that's the word he uses, gated burial ground. I said, listen, I don't give a damn about being buried with you guys. I said, I got my own grave plot already set up. So he goes, okay, well, if you could just sign here, you know, because they know, they want to document that I didn't want to be buried. So I signed it. I said, I don't want to be buried there. If I didn't sign, that would have been hell for them. I thought about it. I left it alone, though. Give me Nehemiah chapter 10, verse 31. I want to jump there. Now, boycotting. Boycotting is very, very important when you want to make a point to the society you live in. Martin Luther King set up the bus boycott. Very effective. Harry Belafonte and what was the sister's name? I can't remember. There was a... No, Harry Belafonte. There was another famous black woman. Not Rosa Parks. She was in a... Ruby Dee. Harry Belafonte and Ruby Dee and her husband were going to boycott Christmas. Not just them. They would ask all black people with Martin Luther King to boycott Christmas. You know, the president went crazy. They said, y'all can't do that. Don't do that. Because they saw what happened with the bus boycott. It shook that was in Selma. Where was that? I can't remember off the top of my head. Was the bus? That's where it was? It shook that to the foundation. Boycotting is very big. Now, you may ask yourself, what does that have to do with us? It has everything to do with us. Camilla, Georgia wants to make a statement. They want to change things. You have to boycott. And you have to start with the white man. No, I wouldn't even start there. I'll start with God's holiday. Let's start there. Read that for me, Ezekiel, Officer Ezekiel.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10 and verse 31.
This is a boycott in itself. Watch this. You might not realize it, but that's what this is. Go ahead.
And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath.
We would not buy it of them on the Sabbath. Go ahead.
Or on the holy day.
Or on the holy days. Go ahead.
And that we would leave the 7th year and the exaction of every debt.
So when we went back to the land of Israel, you had nations around us. The prophet Nehemiah established, he said, listen, on God's Sabbath days and God's holidays, we are not to buy and sell. That alone is a boycott towards the other nations. Do you realize the Most High gave us 52 Sabbaths? He gave us 12 new moons and about 8 feast days. Start there. You start there with your boycott. Why? Because God says so. And if we do it because the Lord said so, the Lord will fight for us. Then you take it a step further. On their holidays, you don't buy, you don't sell. Keep your money in your pocket come Christmas time, come Thanksgiving, come Easter. What other, July 4th, what other damnable holidays they got?
All of them. And the NBA.
Halloween, Mother's Day, Baby Day, Dog Day. Whatever days they got.
Valentine's Day. Let all the chocolate spoil.
Exactly. That alone is a boycott. If Camilla, Georgia can harness and organize on that, they could change things right away because God will be on their side. And not just there, but throughout this damnable country. If we as a people organize and obey what this Bible says, things will change until the day of deliverance for us.
I wonder how many churches are down there in Camilla, Georgia.
They got a bunch out there. They ain't thinking.
All of them could organize to start this thing right there.
They just as oppressed down there. That's why the brothers from Atlanta I was having a meeting with Deacon Malachi. Malachi said, y'all don't let this drop. Don't drop the ball. Keep sending brothers out there to organize the people. And Captain Amaziah spoke at Town Hall. I think the video drops tomorrow in City Council. The mayor was so impressed with IUIC, he asked the brothers, can y'all come to our Town Hall meeting? And I'd love y'all to speak. So wait for that video. I believe it's tomorrow night. If I think Officer Yuri's editing it.
So that goes back to that scripture that you read earlier, Bishop, 1 Corinthians 16:9. The Most High is opening doors for us to speak this truth. That's a good example of it right there. The Most High is showing here's the time to get it out, and at the same time set this place on its ear to hear this truth.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
So not only do we boycott on God's days because it's lawful to do so, but not celebrating their holidays will hurt them economically. Give me that in Deuteronomy 28, 43 and 44, because we love to have the white man puts out what's called a multicultural society. He also pushes a multicultural teaching in schools. And if you notice, when it comes to multiculturalism, where's the black and Latino? Always on the bottom. Read that.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
Remember what happened when we left Egypt. Hold that. Give me Exodus 12 and 40. When we left Egypt, when the Most High delivered us, it wasn't just the Israelites that were delivered. It was, but you had other nations running at our heels to escape Egypt. Watch this. Exodus 12 and 40.
Exodus chapter 12 and 40. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was
1238. I apologize. 1238.
Verse 38. And the mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle.
There was a mixed multitude of other nations that came out with us. When we left out of Egypt through the power of God, the other nations, that mixed multitude came out with us. Not that God was delivering them, but they saw opportunity and they took it. Now go back to Deuteronomy 28, 43. This is what Moses is talking about.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee
stranger that is within thee, meaning that mixed multitude that's among you, go ahead,
shall get up above thee very high.
If you break God's laws, they're going to get up above you Israelites very high. Go ahead.
And thou shalt come down very low.
And you Israelites shall go down very low. Read.
He shall lend to thee.
That mixed multitude, that mixed group of nations, they shall lend to you.
And thou shalt not lend to him.
And you shall not lend to him.
He shall be the head.
That mixed group, those nations shall be the head of all society. Go ahead.
And thou shalt be the tail.
And you're going to be the slaves of society. That's what Moses was telling them. Was that it?
No, yeah, that's it on that.
Give me Nehemiah chapter 9, verse 2 now. Nehemiah. Still dealing with that mixed multitude, that multiculturalism. Because that's what it was talking about, multicultural. Those multicultures right there, they're going to get up above you very high. And you Israelites going to come down very low. Watch this. Nehemiah 9 and 2. This is what God told us to do.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 9 and verse 2. The seed of Israel separated themselves from all strangers and stood and confessed their sins and the iniquities of their fathers.
You got some Israelite camps that can't comprehend that we separated ourselves from those strange nations. They want to marry the white woman. They want to marry the China woman. We can't marry them. We must separate from them. Okay, that's what God's law is. Give me 2 Corinthians, because I know what you're thinking. It didn't say that in the New Testament. Oh, yes, it does. 2 Corinthians 6:17, it says the same thing.
The book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6 and verse 17. Wherefore, come out from among them, and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
God commands us, come out from among them and be separate. That's what we have to do. Right now, we are in a system where we have to work their jobs. But when we get to the point where we can do our own thing, then we can separate from them. Okay? Now watch this. Give me the video about the Asians. I want all you Asians online to listen good. You Asians.
And you know what? We have
in
to be
Charlotte, North Carolina.
And you know what? We have to be careful with words too, because when they use terms like multiculturalism, That is to give you the illusion that you have other nations in captivity with you. When we're at the bottom, because if you was to realize that all of the nations hate you, it might give you a different thought. But if you think you have company, you say, well, it ain't so bad.
Right, exactly. Now, this is in Charlotte, North Carolina. This is at an age, some of y'all may have seen this on the news, where a black girl was accused of stealing, and she says, they stop her, and she says, check my purse. She said, check me. I don't have anything. They wouldn't let it go. Play the video.
Here, check my bag. I'm telling you, I don't have anything. Check the bag.
Check the bag.
Lock the bag.
Stay here. Yeah, let her check the bag. Please. Huh?
No, I did not.
Did she pay for it? Did she pay for it? I'm calling police right now.
You know what? Y'all can. I'm a female, so I'm a female. Are you serious?
Yes, you hit me.
No, I did not.
You hit me.
Oh, you're getting a whole lot. Get the fuck off me.
Place here at 3400 Wilson Boulevard. You have a
Get the fuck off me.
We have something going on here.
Get off me.
The address is Misha. It's down at
Now, there's a black man calling the police. Watch all of this. There's another black man holding the phone recording.
One man.
This is, Lord have mercy. Pause it. Because when it was first going on, I was about to say, it seems like the man that's making the recording is actually afraid to actually film it from the beginning. He's taking pictures of the shelf and all that, like he don't want to be seen.
You have a black man and black women, and the black women come up later on in this video. But notice, they hit her in the face already, they kicked her, now they got her in the headlock.
The wrestling move. What the hell am I watching?
Two of them on her. Two of them. Go back a minute. Go back a little bit. Or back a little bit.
Down at Wilson Boulevard. Wilson Boulevard.
I cannot believe.
One man.
This is Eric Gardner all over again.
Get off me. I was not stealing.
You're stealing.
No, I was not. You check my purse. Get off.
You hit me. No.
Get off me. Cause you're tripping.
Stop. I want y'all to understand, black men are the only race that will allow the black woman to get a beat down and stand by idly and say and do nothing. That's why the other nations come in your neighborhoods and exploit us. They know you ain't about nothing. They know these men is like little boys. We can do whatever we want. They'll just stand back and go, World Star! Play on.
This is horrible.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Let her go a little bit. Let her go. Let her go. I'm not going nowhere.
She's not able to.
He putting wrestling moves on.
I'm not going nowhere.
Notice how he get it down to the heart.
You're choking me. You're choking me. Oh, you might hurt her.
Just lay down and relax, baby girl.
Just lay down, baby.
Just relax.
Please relax down. So
he can stop tussling with you.
Yes, I cannot.
But no,
just calm down.
Just chill.
They're inside the store here. They're inside the store here.
Let me put my shoe on. Cannot believe this. Like,
Great shirt. Great shirt.
New at noon, the NAACP is calling for a boycott of a Charlotte beauty supply store after the owner was caught on cell phone video kicking and choking an African-American woman, Ticklison.
check my bag. I'm telling you, I don't have anything.
It started off when the owner says the woman shoplifted a product that quickly then escalated to the physical fight you're seeing here. In the video, you see the owner says the woman shoplifted a product that quickly then escalated to the physical fight you're seeing here. In the video, you see the owner take the woman to the ground and then put her in a chokehold. On Sunday, the NAACP held a protest.
You got 9 people. Now, when I read the story, there's 9 people from the NAACP protesting. But guess what Negroes did? They went in there and shopped anyway. This is why you get no respect.
So they didn't have to give them 80% off. They kept the prices high and they still went back in there.
9 people protesting. But Negro, black women, I'm talking about y'all, went right back in the store to buy hair weaves, eyelashes, fingernail polish, all kind of stuff. Makeup.
That's the reason why they treated the woman like that. Right. 100%.
Yo, this store right here, this store is supposed to be shut down. You understand?
It should have been shut down.
That's why Esau scared. That's why they get certain leaders rise up. Like you see the Most High rising up the children of Israel. You understand? Sooner or later, they ain't going to be able to do things like that.
That's right.
You know, we going to be mobilizing brothers all over the state. Yo, shut that store down.
Exactly.
You understand? Because what the things that is being done to our people, listen. You know, you got a lot of leaders today that isn't doing nothing. They just standing back. Unless they get in a paycheck, they ain't doing nothing. You understand? But the sons of God, we going to stand up for our people. Right. You understand? And a lot of our people, they going to get their minds right when they see we standing up for them and shutting these things down that's going on in our neighborhood, man.
That store is in what kind of neighborhood is that store in?
That's a black neighborhood.
A black neighborhood.
Because the brothers and sisters we want with us is you brothers and sisters that repent.
That's
you understand? And the brothers and sisters that going up inside there and shopping, we going to show them, listen, why they don't supposed to go up in there and supporting their enemy. You understand what I'm saying? Because our people is destroyed mentally. Even what you see going on in Camilla, Georgia. You know how much damage they could do there in Camilla, Georgia to that whole economy?
It's 70% black.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know the kind of damage the mayor could do over there and the people over there, if they come together, they could do crazy damage. Esau gonna have to turn over power to them, you know. But these is things that our people need to do, man. But that's why we gotta guide brothers and sisters with the scriptures and show them how to do these things.
Just to give you an example, 70% is $7 out of every 10. So I'm not giving you $7. You make it off for $3.
Exactly.
Right. The money that is made in the city is made off of the population of the people.
Yep.
Off of the taxes, the events and the tickets that's given out and all.
You know those white cops is just targeting black people for tickets.
Exactly.
Another story time. They have a quota. NYPD got a quota for tickets, right? 30 tickets a month. So, and it put us in black and Latino neighborhoods. So, where was I at? I was on Delancey Street. They had us in the black and Latino area. You ever been around Delancey Street? So, yeah. So I would do my 30 within a day. I get it done. So what I did next, I'll go over to the white area where the Jewish people live, and I did another 30. So they go, what is this? Or I said, I just want to be fair. I just want to be fair and make sure that everyone gets there. Because those white people over there, they park how they want to park. They will drive the freaking car on the sidewalk. Oh, I made sure I got them. Believe me. Oh, they didn't like me. They said, we got to get this nigga out of here. And then the blacks on the team that was on my team that wasn't doing good, they would say, Israel, can you help them out? I go, yeah. Come on. I take them right. You know where I took them? Right to the white section. We going right over there.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Woo!
I used to work with a girl that used to work with them, and she told me she used to do the same thing.
Yep. I'll tell you. Finish that video.
He took it upon himself to treat her in the ways that no woman should be treated. In fact, no person should be treated.
I wasn't crazy,
you was
no
crazy.
matter what
We gonna
the
show you
reason,
some crazy.
But I feel very sorry to her.
That was the owner who says
That's
he did
a wrestling
apologize.
move.
He also plans to turn the video over to the police, showing them the alleged theft.
Hey, where's the camera? You Koreans, we ain't gonna forget about God. Ain't gonna forget about you. Understand that thing. Now, watch this. Give me Genesis. Now I'm gonna talk about Moab and Ammon just for a second. The wash pots of Israel, of the world. The wash pots. Find me that scripture. I like that wash pot.
Psalms 108.
Gideon's crazy. 1, 2, 3, wash pot.
Hey, people always ask, how do you know the Chinese and Japanese is Moab and Ammon? Because the Bible teaches us so. Give me that. Now, here's the question you always got to ask. No, read the scripture first. Read the scripture first. Genesis 19, verse 36 to 38.
The book of Genesis, chapter 19 and verse 36. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their father.
Now that's some nasty stuff right there. Sodom and Gomorrah was blown up by God. His daughters thought all the world was destroyed. They got their father drunk and said, let's have children by our father. Let me ask y'all something. If you have children with your daughter, what will the child look like? They're going to have Down syndrome. What's the word?
Mongoloid.
Mongoloidism. Is that pronounced right? That is the generic trait you get. Now, listen, I'm going to make a disclaimer. We're not making fun of anybody whose child has Down syndrome. So I just want to I know somebody, I'm not talking about your child. I'm talking about the wash pot.
If Trump could do it.
So Lot had sex while he was drunk, mind you, with his daughter. His daughters got their daddies drunk and had sex with him. Go ahead, read on.
And the firstborn bare a son, and called his name Moab.
Moab was the firstborn. That's the damnable Chinese. Go ahead.
The same is the father of the Moabites unto this day.
They had Mongoloidism. Go ahead.
And the younger, she also bare a son, and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
So the same as the children of Ammon unto this day. Was that down to 38?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go to Ezekiel 25. So how did they go from where they lived? Because remember, they populated the land of Moab, and Ammon was right beside it. How did they get over to where they at today? Here it is in Ezekiel 25. Ezekiel 25, read verse 3 and 4, then jump to 8.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 3. And say unto the Ammonites, hear the word of the Lord God. Thus saith the Lord God, because thou saidest, aha, against my sanctuary, when it was profaned, and against the land of Israel, when it was desolate, and against the house of Judah, when they went into captivity.
So Ammon mocked us. Go ahead.
Verse 8.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. Behold, therefore I will deliver thee to the men of the east for possession.
They were already in the east. So what does it mean? He will deliver them to the men of the east. Meaning they will go further east. That's where the Babylonians took them. Go ahead.
And they shall set their palaces in thee, and make their dwellings in thee. And they shall eat thy fruit, and they shall drink thy milk.
Jump down to verse 8.
Verse 8. Thus saith the Lord God, because that Moab and Seir do say, behold, the house of Judah is like unto all the heathen. Therefore, behold, I will open the side of Moab from the cities, from his cities which are on his frontiers, the glory of the country, Beth Jeshimoth, Baal Meon, and Kirshathimim, unto the men of the east with the Ammonites, and will give them in possession, that the Ammonites may not be remembered among the nations.
Right, that's why they were not remembered as Ammon. Now their names have all been changed by the Greeks. When you read Josephus says the Greeks were the authors of such mutations by changing the names of the people to what sounded best to them in Greek. So they gave them China, they gave them Japan. Those are the names they gave them. And they were put up in those areas that they inhabit today. Put up a map. Find me a map of China. You little Koreans, we didn't forget about you. You know, because you're Moab. Give me a map. Type in China, I guess. I want to see further up because right above China is Korea's a little lower, but then you got Mongolia. See the word Mongolia, Mongolism. Okay, where we at? Okay, there's China. You got Mongolia right above them northward. You got South Korea to the right of China. Then you got Japan. So South Korea, then you got North Korea above, right between China and Japan. That's that Asia area right there. So, and during this time is when Genghis Khan, that was during the Middle Ages, Genghis Khan was not a Chinese man. Genghis Khan was an Edomite. That's why a lot of them look like Mongolian white folks today because of that seed that was put up there. Give me 1 Samuel 14 and 47. And don't let me forget washpot. We want that. Come on. 1 Samuel 14, 47. Let's see what King Saul had to do.
The book of 1 Samuel chapter 14 and verse 47. So Saul took the kingdom over Israel and fought against all his enemies on every side. Come on. Against Moab.
Against who?
Against Moab.
Against Moab. Go ahead.
And against the children of Ammon.
They were never our friends. They were always our enemies. Read.
And against Edom.
We're giving you a break today, white man. You just be grateful. Go ahead.
And against the kings of Zobah. And against the Philistines.
Those are Hamites. Go ahead.
And whithersoever he turned himself, he vexed them.
So our forefather Saul gave Moab and Ammon hell. Okay, because they were our enemies. From there, give me Isaiah 11:14.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 14. But they shall fly upon the shoulders of
they is Ephraim and Judah, the two kingdoms coming back together again. 14 again.
But they shall fly upon the shoulders of the Philistines toward the west.
That means we're going to overthrow the Philistines. We're going to conquer them. Go ahead.
They shall spoil them of the east together.
We shall rob them, destroy them of the east together. Read.
They shall lay their hand upon Edom and Moab, and the children of Ammon shall obey them.
We're going to force them damn Asians, Moab, Ammon, and we're going to make Esau obey us. Who said that? This is God's prophecy right here. Believe it or not, accept it or not. We're going to just tell you what the scripture prophesies about. Give me washpot now. Where's that at?
Psalms 108 and verse 9.
Go ahead. Psalms 108 verse 9.
The book of Psalms 108 verse 9. Moab is my washpot.
That's why they're always laundry cleaners. They're the damn washpots of the earth. So the Bible's a real book. Moab, some of you in here might have Chinese mamas. I don't give a damn. Ruth was a Moabite. Guess what? She gonna be a servant too. But my mama, to hell with your mama. She a damn washpot. And that's what I didn't say that. That's what you're so racist. Read it again. Let's see what God said.
Psalms 108 and verse 9. Moab is my washpot. Over Edom will I cast out my shoe. Over Philistia will I triumph.
From there, give me Zephaniah 2, 8 to 11. Zephaniah 2, verse 8 through 11.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 8. I have heard the reproach of Moab.
I've heard the reproach of Moab, the Chinese. Go ahead.
And the revilings of the children of Ammon.
And the revilings of the... Put the map back up again. I'm sorry. Put the map back up. I wanted to say this. So, we always talk about Moab being China. China's huge. Then people ask about Japan and say, well, that's very small. Ammon is very small. No. Remember, above China is Mongolia. That's Ammon is up there also. So you got a lot of Moab. Put it up on the screen again. You got it for me? There we go, right there. Put it up so we can see the whole thing. Move it up. Okay, you see how big China is? Then you got Korea over there and Japan. Mongolia got a lot of Ammon up in there. Okay? That's where they at. And we're going to talk about them too in a second. So read that again, officer. Where you at?
Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revilings of the children of Ammon. whereby they have reproached my people.
That, them two nations, they always running their damn mouth against us. That's what it means when it says they have reproached my people. Go ahead.
And magnified themselves against their border.
Read.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah.
Meaning they're going to be destroyed with fire. We're going to destroy them. Jack them up. Go ahead.
Even the breeding of nettles and salt pits, and a perpetual desolation.
A perpetual desolation. Go ahead.
The residue of my people shall spoil
them. The residue is the 144. We shall spoil them. Go ahead.
And the remnant of my people shall possess
them. We're going
to
own them as slaves. That's what it means, that we shall possess them. Read.
This shall they have for their pride.
This shall they, because that's a very prideful group right there. Moab and Ammon, very prideful. The Bible says this shall they have for their pride. Go ahead.
Because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts.
Because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts. Go ahead.
The Lord will be terrible unto them.
The Lord will be, I can't wait for this. I actually read this. And I can't wait for it to come to pass. Go ahead.
The Lord will be terrible unto them, for he will famish all the gods of the earth, and men shall worship him, every one from his place, even all the isles of the heathen.
Now, from there, give me the video about them damn Koreans. The jokes they got on us. I posted it for you. Everything's a joke. They opening their mouth against us all the time.
In Korea. Now, you got a Korean guy captured by some Africans. You already know what comes next. Chicken soothes the savage beasts. The Koreans are so proud of this ad that they won't run it outside of Korea. And of course, most black people have never seen it. Now, what are you going to do about it? Let's talk about art, shall we? We'll start with music, the universal language. In this case, what it's saying is, we don't respect black people. This is a Jap who's doing an Al Jolson routine, mocking Louis Armstrong.
Think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Here's another one, from Korea this time. Now, what are you going to do about it? Here's a Korean named Nikki S. Lee. She's a photographer who's done a series of pictures about her misadventures trying to fit into the hip-hop scene. She decided to paint herself brown and claimed she was just doing it so she could get into the mood. So, what do you think? A harmless case of a clueless but otherwise well-meaning Asian who simply wanted to slip into someone else's skin? Or just another yellow bastard who's using a pathetic excuse to keep from getting her made in Taiwan ass kicked? You know what? It doesn't even matter. What matters is, what are you gonna do about it? This group is known as the Bubble Sisters. They're a Korean group who decided they would use blackface as their gimmick. But wait until you hear the reason why, and you're gonna love this. According to them, they were told that they weren't pretty enough to be a professional singing group. So instead, they would need a gimmick if they wanted to get people to buy their albums. Well, they decided that the perfect gimmick would be to play on the ugly theme, that they were too ugly to be professionals. So this is their gimmick, that they're ugly and proud of it. Now you already know what the racial inference here is. But the question is, what are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it?
The Asians will try to tell you that these things aren't really racist at all. No, that's just your black imagination running away with you again.
Black imagination.
This is about admiration for black music, not ridicule. What are you going to do about it?
What are you going to do about it? Stop the video. I'm getting mad. Read that again in Zephaniah 2 and 10.
The book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 10. This shall...
Read 9 and 10 together.
Verse 9. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, surely Moab shall be as Sodom, and the children of Ammon as Gomorrah. Even the breeding of nettles and salt pits, and the perpetual desolation, the residue of my people shall spoil them.
We're going to destroy them. Go ahead.
And the remnant of my people shall possess them.
And they're going to be our slaves. Go ahead.
This shall they have for their pride.
For their what?
For their pride.
What we just saw is witness of their pride. Go ahead.
Because they have reproached and magnified themselves against the people of the Lord of hosts.
So God is explaining. He says, because they have magnified and reproached his people. And this is what they do in their commercials. They do it. When y'all look at Dragon Ball Z, they got a character called Mr. Popo.
Piccolo.
Real black. Who? Piccolo. Not Piccolo. He's green. There's a black guy, real black with big red lips and a white Mitri on. Who's his name? Yeah, Mr. Popo. And everybody think that's funny. Now, give me the other Korean man, the Christian theologian. Give me him.
We believe that the people in the nation of Israel today, we believe that those are the real Jews. We do not believe that the black people are the real Jews. But there are people who actually teach and believe that the black people are the real Jews. And the verse that they like to turn to is Revelation chapter 1. And they will quote verse 13 through 15 to show you that Jesus Christ was actually black. So a lot of them, they'll keep saying, you know, Yeshua, Yahshua.
Stop there, and I want you to jump ahead to 7 minutes and 58 seconds. Right there, just stop. Right there.
Kind of strange, is it not? All right, I've gone too much about on that name now. Now let's look at Revelation 1. This is proof that Jesus was strangely black. Revelation chapter 1, verse 13. In the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool. Okay, so he's got white hair, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame.
He skipped wool. You see that? He skipped wool. These little wash pots. Go ahead.
They're bastards. That's what they are. They are bastards. The Most High call them bastards, and they're going into captivity, and it's a beautiful thing too. Now that we're bringing all this stuff out, for some of y'all that was squeamish about putting the nations in slavery, I think you feel a little bit justified now, right? Well, just give me your slaves. Don't worry. I'll take them all. I'll put them all in captivity.
His head and his hairs were white like wool. Okay, so he's got white hair, as white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire. And his feet, this is their proof, his feet like unto fine brass, as if they were burned in a furnace, and his voice as the sound of many waters. So then they'll give this example where you leave a cookie in a furnace. I kid you not, okay? I'm not giving these racist statements. If you think this sounds racist, it's black people, the Black Hebrew movement, who actually use this argument, right? They insist, some of them give this example where you put a cookie in an oven, and where you cook it too long, you know, then what? It becomes really dark, see? So they use that as proof that Jesus was black, all right? If that sounds racist to you, that's what the black people themselves said, the Black Hebrew movement, not me, all right? I wouldn't even say that, all right? You know what's actually, oh man, this is just, okay, here's the thing. Verse 15, feet like unto fine what? Brass. Brass, as if they were burned in a furnace. Have you ever seen brass burn in a furnace? All right. Have you ever seen gold or jewelry? It makes it brighter. All right. It doesn't make it more black. It makes it more bright.
Pause right
more
there.
More yellow, more
Pause.
golden.
Go to Group Me. I'll put some pictures up of burnished brass. Let's take a look. We're going to take a look. The little laundry wash pot bastard.
I have a hard time just accepting the fact that this bastard is even talking about our Bible.
Exactly. Now, blow it up big so they can see it. This is an example of burnished brass. That look brown to me.
And the bastard left out the woolly hair.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Was there another one, Enoch?
They think I'm saying bad words, Bishop.
Right. This is another example of burnished brass. All that you can look up when you type in burnished, this is the color that the Bible describes Jesus Christ as. Okay, get a white boy out of that.
Right. But what y'all have to realize is that all of these attacks against this Bible's truth is showing you that we are at war.
Exactly.
These nations do not want us to bring the healing medicine to our sick minds from the results of what they have done against us.
Exactly.
Okay, so as we bring this truth out, as these doors continue to open up, we as men of God are going to bring this truth out no matter who likes it, who's upset with it. We don't care about it at all. Exactly. Our job is to bulldoze you with this word until you get it, till you choke on it.
Exactly.
That's how you got to be with this.
Hey, find me the scripture says Moab, the bastard, in Deuteronomy. Yeah. I know y'all hear y'all stop saying that. Right. Is it 23?
Yep.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 23, read verse 2 and 3.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 23, verse 2. A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
Now he's going to explain. Go ahead.
An Ammonite or a Moabite shall not.
A Japanese or a Chinese, go ahead.
Shall not.
Or Korean, by the way. Because, Korea likes to separate themselves from China. You're a Moabite too, Koreans. Go ahead.
Shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord.
So that means they're bastards also.
There you go.
That's what it's telling you.
Because they're illegitimate. Right. What happened with Lot, that was an illegitimate birth. Go ahead.
Even to their 10th generation shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever.
Read.
Because they met you not with bread and with water in the way when ye came forth out of Egypt, and because they hired against thee Balaam, the son of Beor, of Pethor, of Mesopotamia, to curse thee.
They hired other nations to curse her. The Most High say, and that's why when we got our first king, the Most High told Saul, kick everybody's ass. That's what he did. Okay, let's go back to the video with the wash pot. We ain't forget your little Korean man with your prideful speech. Go ahead.
I like that pride of that. I want to see them keep that up when that chain get clamped on them.
Yep. Go ahead.
More golden. See? So, but not only that, this verse shows that Jesus was actually white, actually, if they want to take it that way. Look at that verse, verse 13. It's not just his hair. They're only looking at his hair. His what also was white? His head. Look at that. So this guy, this is so weird. Okay, so we see Jesus Christ right here. It's not just his head.
When it says his head and his hair, meaning the hair on his head and the hair on his face. See, that's why they need to leave our book alone. Leave our records alone. You don't understand. Play.
Hair, that's white. It's his head. His whole head
So
was
wait,
white.
stop. Would it make sense that his head is white and his feet like burnished brass? I don't know about y'all. My feet are the same color as my face. So what the hell is he talking about? Little wash pot. Go ahead.
So in reality, this is a bad verse for them to use. If they want to prove Jesus was a black man, this verse shows the opposite, actually. He had a whitish skin color. Now, some people might say, oh, so you're teaching the Catholic Jesus where he's blonde hair, blue eye? No, we deny that too.
Amen.
We're going to look at Song of Solomon. Song of Solomon, chapter 5.
Wait a minute, pause it. He's acting as if he matters. Huh? He act as if he matters.
He acts like it.
Hey,
like he's worth having a conversation over.
Hey, you know what happened? One of you brothers probably cut him up on the street, man. He passed by some camp and he got cut hard. So he had to go home and do some research and say, let me do a video.
Yeah, exactly. And lie. Go ahead.
Solomon chapter 5. Song of Solomon chapter 5. Jesus Christ was a Jew, yes?
Wait,
okay,
this
so
is the
since
same
he's
scripture
a Jew,
that other bastard went to. Remember the white boy, the church in Arizona? He got tore up. Now he going to the same scripture. Go ahead.
Let's see the appearance of Jews during this time period. Look at Song of Solomon, chapter 5. So they believe that the Jewish people was black, all right? They believe the Jewish people were black people. But the Bible's going to show you right here in Song of Solomon the features of a Jew. And Jesus Christ is known as King of the Jews, right?
Amen. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Not only
Amen.
that, you know what's really funny is that this same verse where they used to prove we're burned means black. Where they tried to teach this burned means black, they said it, not me, all right? These people claim it, not me. That's very one-sided and biased. You look at Genesis.
And yes, we are biased.
One of the sons of Noah is Ham, right? So the Black Hebrew movement, they'll insist that they're not from this kind of seed right here. Some of them will argue they're not from Ham's seed. But do you know what Ham means in Hebrew?
Hot.
Wow. Wow. See, burn, blackish, etc. That's what Ham means. So this is not a good proof text. It proved to them, one, they are from Ham's seed. Two, that Jesus Christ was not black. This is a double-edged sword. So if they use that verse, this should be actually the favorite verse against Black Hebrew movement, not a favorite verse supporting the Black Hebrew movement. We're going to look at Song of Solomon chapter 5 verse 10. Song of Solomon chapter 5 and verse 10. My beloved is what?
White.
White and ruddy. All right, the chiefest among 10,000.
Wait, let's
His
deal with
head
that
is
white.
at-
Pause right there. Let's deal with that white. The Bible makes write this down, two references to white. Two references. I'm going to give the first one. Revelation 19:18. Read that.
Revelation 19, verse 8.
I told you about my notes. I put 18. Tag. Go ahead.
And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white, for the fine linen is the righteousness of saints.
So this fine linen, clean and white, represents what, brothers? Righteousness of saints.
The book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 18. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and anoint thy eyes with eye salves, that thou mayest see.
So what I wanted out of that is the white raiment, which goes back to the righteousness of the saints. So the next reference to white in the Bible, go to Numbers chapter 12, verse 10 to 12.
The book of Numbers, chapter 12, verse 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow.
Wait a minute. Miriam became leprous, white as snow. So the Bible's letting you know that the lack of melanin pigmentation is what, brothers? Leprosy. Go ahead.
And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not this sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let her not be as one dead.
Let her not be as one dead. So either Song of Solomon, chapter 5 and 10, when it says, my beloved is white and ruddy, is referring to righteousness or leprosy. It's one of the two. You can't have it both ways. One or the other. It's either righteousness or leprosy. We know it's not leprosy, so it has to be referring to what? Righteousness. Was that it, Ezekiel?
Let her not be as one dead.
Let her not be as one dead. Go ahead.
Of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb.
Now look up ruddy in the Bible dictionary. Watch what it says for ruddy. I told you that other bastard, what's his name? Eleazar ben Yehuda. He went around changing words. Like he tried to change the word Edom and Adam, and make them the same word. And those are two different words. Ruddy, R-U-D-D-Y. Watch what it says. Watch what the white scholars say. You got it? Yeah, if he can't spell, somebody help him. R-U-D-D-Y. You got it?
I got it. The Bible dictionary, ruddy, a word used to refer to a red or fair complexion.
Watch this. They might think they got us there. Go ahead.
In contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews.
In contrast to the dark skin of the... Was Christ a Hebrew? Was David a Hebrew? Was Esther a Hebrew? Those are the three when you read the word ruddy. It's telling you the Hebrews with dark skin. What you got? You sending it to him? So the white man's the devil the Bible speaks of. And so is Moab and Ammon. We ain't finished with them yet. Okay, let's read that, Ezekiel.
Ruddy. Ruddy is the form taken by the adjective red when used as a term of praise of the human skin.
So Ben Yehuda changed it to mean red. Watch, go ahead.
And this is its use in the Bible. The Hebrew and Greek words are all usual words for red.
The modern Hebrew words. Watch this.
Or to be red. The dark-skinned Hebrews found great beauty in a clear complexion.
That's what ruddy meant to us. It meant a great beauty in a clear complexion.
Meaning no blemishes, no hyperpigmentation, no bumps, no blackheads. Right. Your skin. You ever see black people like that? Their skin is perfect. You be like, oh, shoot.
So David was.
Yeah. That's what ruddy meant to us.
Dark-skinned Hebrews, which is contrary to all that red garbage you read before that.
Exactly.
You know, Esau does the Jedi mind trick, red. It means red. You're like, wow, white man's God. Okay, it means red. No. The dark-skinned Hebrews found great beauty in a clear complexion. The complexion translates to ruddy. Like Esther was ruddy.
And David was ruddy. And like Gedaliah Pope, give me that one in Lamentations 4.
He even has it posted there, verse 7. Lamentations 4, verse 7 in the top statement.
Right. So little Korean man, we will not forget you in the coming kingdom.
The book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 7. Her Nazarites were purer than snow. They were whiter than milk. They were more ruddy in body than rubies. Their polishing was of sapphire. Their visage was blacker than a coal. They are not known in the streets.
Now, can we look up that word visage? Can we look that word up? Their visage was blacker than a coal. A person's face! You dumb Korean minister. Make me sick. You got something for us? Give me 2 Kings 5:27. So I'm going to say Song of Solomon 5 and 10, where it says, my beloved is white and ruddy. I'm going to talk about that white. So is it this kind of white? I hope I wrote the right scripture down. 5:27. Go ahead.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 5 and verse 27. The leprosy, therefore, of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper, as white as snow.
So is that the white that Song of Solomon's talking about? No. Okay. Now look at this. When you look up ruddy cow, they have pictures of brown cows. Okay. Y'all see that? Ruddy cows are brown cows. Okay. Now, Mr. Korean man, Mr. Asian man, give me 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 46. And you know, and in the video, he says, I got many blacker friends. He says that when you hear a little Asian man talk like that. Oh, wait a minute. Go back to the video. We didn't finish a little Korean man. Whole 2nd Esdras. We didn't finish with him. Go ahead.
His head is as the most fine gold. His locks are bushy and what? Black as a raven. Okay, so he's whitish skin. He's got blackish hair. Verse 12, his eyes are as the eyes of what? Doves, okay? Have you ever seen a dove's eye? So a dove's eyes, he's got black hair and a dove's eyes, which is black, and he also has whitish skin. That describes perfectly with the Jews that you see in Israel today, see? So you got a group of Sephardic Jews. This is a perfect description of that, see? A whitish feature of a skin, black eye, black hair. See? Sephardic Jews. Now, a lot of people who are being anti-Jewish, anti-Semitic. They're trying to say that the Ashkenazi Jews, that they are fake Jews. The people in the nation of Israel are fake Jews. But look, it's not just Ashkenazi. You also got Sephardic Jews as well in Israel. All right? So that's a ridiculous argument. By the way, if they really study DNA, they're trying to... So they give this source from a guy from Johns Hopkins University. I'm going to do a video on that maybe someday. But I already saw all that. They use this guy who's supposed to be Israeli. From his DNA evidence that Ashkenazi Jews, they're from the Khazars. So they're not really Jews. So he'll say Ashkenazi are from Khazars. But if you study the DNA evidence, you know what's really funny? It's true, all right? I don't deny it. There are Khazars' blood. But if you look up these Ashkenazi Jews, you know who are the closest people they feature in DNA? They don't look at that part. See?
We do. They're the same bastards.
But why is it they're different with Khazar? It's simple. It's very simple. Jews went all around the world. You know what happened? They mingled. See? They mingled. That's just natural. Jews have mingled. See? That's why you're going to see that. Yes, there were a lot of Khazars who converted to Judaism, actually, and were not really Jews. But you can't deny the other Jews who mingled with them. By the way, how did Khazars convert to Judaism to begin with if there were no Jews to give them Judaism? See, so this is just common sense, but then they mingle some of the facts where it gets confusing. No, it's actually very simple. There's no doubt there are Khazars. But when you look at DNA bloodline, they're the closest to this. You know why? Because these Jews went to this region and they mingled. That's why. It's that simple, see. So whether you like it or not, the Bible shows you, one, that this is what Jesus looked like, and that these are really God's people. And two, the black people, they are definitely not God's people. If you want it, then, if you want proof of that, give me an original source of the early centuries. Because
wait, pause! Don't those Christian apologetics say this, give me a source.
Yeah.
I want an original source. They always want to leave the Bible and go somewhere else.
Hey, what do y'all think happened to this dude?
Right,
What do you, because for this man, how long is this video? 15 minutes of garbage. What do you think?
Tore up on the street.
That's exactly. Some camp tore his ass to pieces. That's what happened.
And he mad.
Tore his ass up.
Hey, and they say they want the original source, right? The original source, they got it hidden underground in the Vatican. We can't get access to that. The original, like all of them always say they want some proof or writing and so forth. Certain things they hid it. They got it hid in the Vatican.
Hey, Malachi, how come they don't need original sources when it comes to Amalek in Israel?
Right.
But with us, we need an original source. The Bible's not good enough now.
Oh, the Bible is good enough because the Bible is what got him going crazy like this here.
Exactly.
Brothers tore his behind up. I already know it. I already see it. I'm waiting for one of them to put a video up with it slicing and dicing and tearing his behind up.
But you know what this remind me of? This remind me of the scripture in Revelation that said all nations have taste of go and drink of the wrath of God because all nations have took part in the fornication of the beast.
Yeah.
All nations. This dude is a Chinese and he worshiping the white man as God and Christ.
With his suit on.
You understand? He a Chinese.
Exactly.
You know, in some Moabite country, you can't bring no Bible over there. You go into jail. You understand? They call that propaganda.
Right. Funny to me.
Now,
this is funny. Go
Second Ezra 15 for these Asians. Second Ezra 15:40. Put the map back up.
The book of Second Ezra, chapter 15, verse 46. And thou, Asia.
Stop. I need the map. This is Asia, where you see Mongolia, China, South Korea. And he'll argue and say, oh, I'm not Chinese, I'm Korean. You're the same rat bastard. Japan, that's all Asia up there. So read that again, officer.
And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person, woe be unto thee.
Destruction be unto thee. Go ahead.
Thou wretch.
The Bible calls Asia, that's Moab and Ammon, thou wretch. Go ahead.
Because thou hast made thyself like unto her.
Look at this. Thou hast made thyself like unto her. Unto who? Babylon. Read verse 46 again.
And thou, Asia, that art partaker of the hope of Babylon, and art the glory of her person.
So, verse 47 now.
Woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her.
They made themselves just like American white man. Go ahead.
And hast decked thy daughters in whoredom.
That's them geisha girls. Is that the right word?
I don't.
Go ahead.
And hast decked thy daughters in whoredom, that they might please and glory in thy lovers.
That's why when Americans go there, they always have those little geisha little, I don't know if that's the right word, but they dress up with the makeup and little hard shoes and and all of that crap. Go ahead.
But
you heard what we was reading, that they want to be like Esau so much. That's why they were doing the blackface as well, because they follow Esau with that as well.
Exactly. Go ahead.
Which have always desired to commit whoredom with thee.
Mm-hmm.
Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works.
They have followed America in all her works. Go ahead.
That is hated in all her works and inventions.
And in what?
And inventions.
Look at Japan and the inventions they got. It's all based upon the things that we have, that America has, that Esau has here. Read that again.
Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith God, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death.
Y'all see that? To waste thy houses with destruction and death. Go ahead.
And the glory of thy power shall be dried up as a flower, when the heat shall arise that is sent over thee.
That's going to be that ICBM missile that's sent over there. Go ahead.
Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and lovers shall not be able to receive thee.
Right. America and the other nations ain't going to be able to receive them, meaning help them. Go ahead.
Would I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, saith the Lord, if thou hast not always slain my chosen.
You see what Asia did? If thou hast not always slain my chosen. Go ahead.
Exalting the stroke of thine hands, and saying over their dead, when thou wast drunken.
You drunken. What they got a martial arts called a drunken monkey? Go ahead.
Set forth the beauty of thy countenance, the reward of thy whoredom.
You see when they mocked us, verse 54, when they mocked us when we were dead, saying, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. Remember, we did a class this a while ago. Remember in Ezekiel 16, it says, our beauty went forth as the renown amongst the nations. And we were saying how China and Japan, everything they got, all those ancient garments, they got from us. All of that, they stole from us. Read on.
Set forth the beauty of thy countenance. The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom. Therefore shalt thou receive recompense.
That means recompense means judgment or payback. Go ahead.
Like thou hast done
unto my... don't say like thou.
Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall God do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief.
You see that? All of this is because of the evils they did to us. This is why Moab and Ammon, Asia is going to get jacked up. They're going to get jacked up. So y'all just get ready for it. And don't feel bad for them either. Don't shed a tear either. All of them mocking us in pride, judgment is coming for them. Every last one of them. Amen. Yeah, Bruce Lee too. Yeah, Bruce Lee too.
Shalom. This is Bishop Nathaniel of Israel United in Christ. Please subscribe to our YouTube channels. Stay up to date with our latest events, music, and classroom lessons. IUIC plans to continue visiting different countries where this gospel has not been preached before. IUIC needs your help in pushing this truth. So join us. Subscribe to our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and podcast, and stay up to date with us. For more information, please visit www.israelunite.org.